wait, you criticized Netanyahu? Your daughter's married to Kushner. What are you doing criticizing?
I don't know if that will be the same if it was like more of a massive like military operation that's
maybe
happening
because
right
it
now.
wouldn't happen under
because like when you kill someone, a kind of like repercussion kind of like die very quickly. But this is like an ongoing for more than 3 months. So I don't know how Trump would react.
Are you a sports guy?
Yeah.
What do you like? What sport?
Basketball.
You like basketball?
Yeah.
You know what they say? You know, it's like sometimes like these teams like, you know, Baltimore Ravens or some of the teams like even back in the days, I don't know if you're a Detroit Pistons guy or if you're an old school basketball guy or not. A lot of the guys won because their defense was sick, right? They just had a sick defense. Or you wouldn't come through the middle, or they just were freaking hovering all over. It was so annoying.
Yeah,
right?
like the Jordan rules in Pistons.
That's right, the Jordan rules Pistons, right? So, you know, sometimes, you know, the best way to prevent a war is to have the fear you impose on everybody else where you know, defense where it's like, you know what? We're just not even going to get there. I don't even want to do anything under this guy. Do you think at this point, like, for example, case studies, you've been here since 2014, right? November 11, 2014. So do you think 10 years, you've been here 10 years. I came here November 28, 1990, okay? And you come here like, okay, a senior, Bush senior. All right, Clinton, interesting. Okay, boom, junior, GW, interesting. Okay, Obama, there's a Trump, So now you got so many case studies, and then in life, you sit there and you say, socially, these are the issues that matter to me the most, right? You know, if you and I were to start a country together, if you and I started a country together and we got 10 million people, okay, and we have an opportunity to attract another 10 million people to our country, what do you think the mothers and the fathers' number one priority is to come to a new country? Do you think it's Social Security? No. Do you think it's Medicare? No. What do you think is number one? I would say the S word, right? Security and safety, let's just say, okay? A woman wants to feel safe around a man. A woman wants to feel secure around a man, right? If the number one word is the S word, especially the last 3 years, do you think a lot of people in the last 3 years are sitting there reprioritizing their top reason to elect a president as somebody that's going to lower the temperature to not have war? Do you think America's kind of there today after all the mess we've seen the last 3 years?
I still have hope in America. I still like this country this month. I consider this as my own country. I find it like I found a second chance when I left the Middle East. I think America is actually a great country. It has a lot of potential, and it has given a lot of people, including me, a second chance. So I believe in the idea of America. And the fact that I criticize America, I criticize it like we do. We criticize it out of love in order to be better.
Of course.
And what I'm worried about is like over the years, America might have lost that kind of lure because it has been dragged more and more by the military industry complex. And the money has been prioritized in order to spend money on war, spend money on the military.
I agree.
And I think 68% of your budget is taken to the military. And that's not a lot of, that's huge. And many of these military contracts has been exaggerated. In 60 Minutes just shows something that used to cost $30 now costs $3,000. And there's no catch. There's no curb of these prices because they are the one who are making up the prices. Right. So, yes, the security is great and all, but security in itself, because North Korea has security, right? It's not about the security. This is education, and there is and the equality and people.
Let me answer this. Hang on one second.
Chris Cuomo.
Mr. Cuomo, we're on a podcast. Why are you calling us, man? We're in the middle of a podcast.
Name dropping.
Yeah, I mean,
Chris. I'm doing a live podcast with this legendary comedian, Bassem Youssef, and we're having a very friendly conversation about, you know, how honestly, I'm a little confused because he's here campaigning on behalf of Trump, and we're listening to him, and I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced.
Why, does he not have a red hat on?
No, he has the shirt on. He's not wearing the hat.
He has MAGA shoes on.
He's got MAGA shoes on and MAGA shirt on. No, but Chris, I'm going to call you afterwards. We're on the live podcast. I'll call you right after this.
Do your thing.
My man, bye.
Hold on, my phone.
So, but going back to it.
I got Jon Stewart on the line.
You're
John?
so funny.
Yeah, I'm here with Bassem. We're best friends.
Hold on, Elon.
Okay.
Elon?
Yeah,
No, but the reason why I'm asking this question is because, you know, when you're young, Your dad's kicking your ass, challenging you, all this stuff. You know what? Look at Joey's dad. They smoke weed together. I wish my dad would smoke weed with me. Look at Bobby's dad. They have drinks together. I wish my dad. Look at us. I wish someone. And later on, you're like, dude, I am so freaking glad that guy was tough on me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you for this. So for me, I'm sitting there, thinking like a lot of people are sitting around saying, well, look, what is the most important, issue for us to sit there and resolve? I think the last 3 years, people are sitting there saying, look, man, we already went through COVID. That was nasty. It divided America. I think COVID, at least 9/11, we went like this. I think COVID, we went like this. I think maybe you agree with that. We went way like this. Your team vax? Your team vax? You're this? I'm team. You do them? No way. Hey, you team them something? There's a mask shutdown or something? It was all like so divided, right? I think Americans are tired. They're tired of the fights with the family and the relatives, and we have to hate each other and all this other stuff. We can disagree on 4 different policies. But guess what, man? I think America is the greatest country in the world. Still, I think it's the greatest country in the world. Does it have a history of some of the stuff they've done with economic hitman? Yeah, it's documented. Did Eisenhower tell us be careful with this military-industrial complex? Of course. Do you know how many military contractors we had? Not contractors, where they sold products and supplies, military like General Dynamics and Boeing and all these companies. You know how many of these we had 40 years ago? 50 plus companies. You know how many it is today? 5. The 5 bought the other 45.
Wow.
So there used to be so much competition. Now it's come like this.
It's a monopoly.
It's becoming almost a form of a nationalization because politicians are getting so much check from them, the lobbying amount of money they're spending. So they're like, hey, man, we'll start a war. Of course, yeah, we should kill and bomb Iran. Nikki Haley, she sat on the board of Boeing, and no wonder you want another war because these people want another war because they're going to get another contract. That promise was made by Eisenhower as a Republican president that said, be careful with this, where these guys are going to want to go to war. All I'm saying is, I think what this election has done, this last 3 years, I think whether you're left, right, center, I think the most popular thought on every woman, man, father, husband, mother, wife is, guys, I just want to be safe. Mm-hmm. I just want us to be safe. And I think that's at the top of the mind of a lot of people. And I'm so curious as a businessman who likes case studies to see how America's going to react to Afghanistan, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, potentially China, Taiwan. I am so curious to know how they're going to react to the election this year. So curious.
It's going to be wild.
Because I think that's at the top of their mind. Mm-hmm. I think that's at the top of their mind. Bassem, what do you think?
Well, I want to get it back a little bit because since we were talking about Palestine and Israel, I think the most dangerous thing when you talk about this is you either called a terrorist or anti-Semitic and whatever, right? And people, I would see the people who are the very pro-Israel, who really supported Israel on 7th of October, many of them are actually anti-Semitic, especially right-wing politicians, Matt Gaetz, and MTJ, and all of those people. Those people, they love Israel, but they hate the Jews. They're anti-Semite. It is very obvious. And this is why you see this dichotomy about how the Jewish Voices for Peace, these are Jewish people in New York. They come in and they take over the central station, and they're all Jewish, and they say, not in my name. The whole idea is conflating Israel and with Judaism is wrong. And I think the most dangerous thing that can happen to the Jewish people of the world is to have